back with more Fear the Walking Dead. This is episode 5 of season 4. It's called Laura, so I'm guessing we're going to get a lot more backstory about Laura. Am I a genius or what? I mean, that's what I assume. Maybe a character study into her, or Naomi. So I'm kind of excited to see if that's potentially what this episode is about, because I am kind of intrigued to see what went on between Naomi and John Dorie, and I'm really loving John Dorie as a character, so I'm excited to hopefully delve a bit more into him in this episode. Last episode, obviously we got that revelation that this Naomi character was actually the Laura that John had been looking for, and you know, it was also the aftermath of Nick's death, which I'm still not happy about, still not over. Even if the actor wanted to leave, it still makes me sad that Nick isn't here. Which is still kind of one of the reasons this reaction's kind of taken a while to come out. So I'm just kind of like, you know, I am kind of just reacting to Fear the Walking Dead when I feel like it, as opposed to, you know, having a set, this is the order I'm going to react to things in. I'm kind of going back to what I was doing in season 2 and even 3, when I feel like it, I'll react to Fear the Walking Dead, because I don't want to force myself to watch it when I'm not in the mood. And because this was episode 5 and we just had Walking Dead season 9 episode 5, it's kind of like synced up, so I feel like I'm just going to sync it up, you know, do a Fear episode after a Walking Dead episode, until the mid-season finale of Walking Dead, which is only 3 weeks away. But that will bring me up to the mid-season finale of this. And then in the gap between The Walking Dead season 9, you know, the gap between Christmas, New Year, whenever it's going to come back next year, I kind of want to binge the rest of season 4, because then there's a constant stream of Walking Dead content throughout the whole channel, so I keep that going. So the gap between half seasons, if you will, of Walking Dead could be filled by the second half of Fear season 4. Then by the time I finish with that, hopefully The Walking Dead will be back. So it's just like, there's never not Walking Dead content on my channel, if that makes sense. That's kind of the way I think I'm going to go about watching Fear from now on. So yeah, just letting you guys know that. So it may not be, well, it is kind of, I kind of do have a schedule for it now, whereas I didn't really before. But yeah, so kind of expect a Fear the Walking Dead quite close to, well, the next few Sundays when Walking Dead airs. And then they'll kind of be spaced out in the gaps between, you know, the mid-season finale of Walking Dead and the mid-season premiere. Okay, I feel like that took me 10,000 years to explain, but yeah, I'm excited to see what this episode's going to bring, so let's get into it. Look at those guns! I like how it's focusing on the gun, as opposed to the murder. Is it murder? They're technically alive. It's a grey area. God, I wish that were me. Is he playing Scrabble by himself? Aww. How many points would you score for lonely?
Platypus.
Perry, Perry the platypus. If you know, you know. There she is.
Can you hear me?
Now he has someone to play Scrabble with. Unless she beats him, then he'll just throw her out again. Maybe that's what happens. Aww. John Dorie is so wholesome.
Don't come any closer.
Wow, grateful.
It needs new battery. I've been meaning to attend to that.
For someone who knows a lot about cards, she always finds the shit ones. It is crazy that you have to make things worse for them to get better.
This is fish
things like
stew.
that. Fish stew.
It's been a while since I had company.
I was gonna say, I wonder how long it's been.
Enjoy your soup.
So it'd been a while when he met Morgan, isn't it?
Hey, good night.
I feel like she's slowly warming up to him. She looks like Renée Zellweger. I've been trying to think of who she reminded me of for ages. Same. That Walker was a mood. That's how I get through life.
You rearranging the place?
People always need splints and dressings. When you're in trouble, it's hard to think outside the box. Just doing my part.
You've done this before.
Ah.
I'm lucky to have a job that's still useful now.
Savage.
I won't be staying much longer.
You keep saying that. He's smitten.
I've seen this so many times. Pretty much know what they're gonna say.
I like that he has like a schedule of things. I feel like you'd need like a routine in that kind of world. A sense of normality. Ah, their first date.
Yeah? Right.
Ah,
Hey!
Tip up, tip up. Pulling in, reeling in. Nice. You got
just a walker. Eats her.
It'll come in handy out there.
Aw,
Yeah, we'll come in handy out there.
he doesn't want it to go. Ah, he's finally playing Scrabble with someone. I bet she kicked his ass. Surely she'll use them by the end of the episode. Does she wear those now when we've like seen her after this? I can't remember. Ooh.
Take a couple days, pack some things.
You know, you would.
Aww. Neither of them want her to leave. It's crazy how shows like this can spend a whole episode with these two characters that haven't even been like major for most of the show.
Up to you.
He's trying to make it easier for himself for her leaving. What a wholesome man.
Those guns aren't doing anyone any good in a box.
I want him in a box. I don't want him out here.
He wants some mint in package. She really pulls off the cap. Good look. I love a good cap. So does Peggy Carter. Alright, you got him, John. Jesus. Quite literally, bloody hell.
Did somebody take your gun, or did you have to fire it?
I fired it.
Yeah, he doesn't like killing people, does he?
It was an intentional mistake.
My
I
life.
stopped at the gas station after one of my
My life
shows.
is an intentional
Go.
mistake. Looks like someone's gonna need to use the guns. There we go. Lara Croft is here, everyone.
Very, very lucky to have washed up in your front yard.
Said no one ever before. Well, hopefully she's not really dead. And he can give the gun back to her. I feel like if she really had died and whatever happened at the stadium, we wouldn't be getting a whole episode about her. So I believe there's hope.
I love you.
Oh fuck, right, okay.
If you want to be on your own, you stay. I'll go.
Cinnamon
I
roll?
need you alive. If you're alive, this whole world, feels alive.
Oh my god. Everyone form a protective barrier around John Dory and their love. Aww. That's actually really sweet. For a second there, I'd forgotten that Nick was dead. Oh, where's she gone? Is she just gone? It's like her favourite party trick, just fucking off. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Maybe they're right.
Hey,
Maybe.
no, look me in the eye and tell me that's what you believe. Tell me that's what you believe, and we'll go our separate ways.
Damn.
I do not believe that.
We are part of the world. Let's not waste another second.
Oh. Wholesome. On the plus side, it's got the full set again. Be worth loads on eBay now. I thought that was a really, really good episode. I really enjoyed it. Oh, I'll leave the main bulk of the episode for a bit, but I liked like the final little scene between Morgan and John, with Morgan saying, you know, we're part of this world. Let's not waste a second. I really liked that kind of attitude, because it's not often we've seen Morgan kind of take a positive outlook on things. I mean, we have on occasion, but I feel like he's not like the happiest of people a lot of the time. So I like that he had that mindset at the end of this episode. Maybe, you know, maybe John's rubbing off on him a bit. That'd be cool. So yeah, I liked that little ending scene. I thought it was a really nice way to end the episode. But I thought that they did a brilliant job kind of capturing this love story in 45 minutes. And really gets you rooting for Naomi to still be alive. I think she's probably still alive, otherwise we probably would have never even like met her in flashback form or whatever. But yeah, I always felt she was kind of a snake in what we knew about her up to this point in the season. With this backstory, I mean, she still just abandoned him, which is kind of, you know, really. But we learned a lot more about her, and I like her a lot more, and I'm really rooting for those two to hopefully find each other if she's still alive. I'm sure she is. I have hope. But yeah, I think they did a brilliant job of kind of telling this love story in such a short amount of time. I think the characters worked really well together. I think the actors had a lot of good chemistry. That scene where he told her he loved her was, that was heartbreaking, and how she left like the notes in the Scrabble. I like how the Scrabble was kind of like a recurring thing throughout the whole episode, because it kind of started with him playing it by himself and thinking of words to make out of all his letters, and then suddenly he had this person to play it with, and yeah, I really like how they kept going back to that. But yeah, I loved the whole bond between them, how they tackled different topics together, how they learnt about each other, learnt a bit about her past, but a lot more about John Dory's past, with, you know, him being a policeman and having that run-in with that guy and shooting him in the leg and stuff. Really cool stuff, getting, you know, reasons why he doesn't like killing people and things like that. It kind of brings us full circle to where we saw him in episode 1, where he first met Morgan. Because because obviously he's been looking for Laura and stuff like that, or Naomi. But yeah, I loved their relationship in this episode. I thought it was actually really adorable. It really, really worked as a means of telling that kind of story. I really bought into that romance, which this episode kind of needed to do to be successful, considering that was like 44 minutes of the 45-minute episode was that. So I love that they kind of filled in those gaps, and I hope Naomi's not dead, because we get to see a reunion between those two, because that was really sad. It was a bittersweet kind of story, but I thought it was beautifully done, so I really, really liked it. Just seeing two people open up about each other can just be so interesting, and I really liked that. So yeah, I loved the bond between the two characters. I loved their story. I loved Morgan's speech at the end. And one thing I really liked, it's probably a good writing thing. It's probably a sign of good writing. John was talking about his intentional mistake in shooting that guy in the leg and him turning around, so it ended up with him like bleeding out and stuff. And he mentioned like that as an intentional mistake, which is an interesting kind of thing as it is. John does come up with these very strange things, but it's very endearing. He's such a wholesome character. Like, you need to protect him. He's a cinnamon roll. And then, as a result of that incident, he kind of isolated himself from everyone else by like moving to that place and being on his own. And then that kind of led him to be really lonely, and then when the apocalypse happened, he didn't have anyone to talk to, and I think obviously when Laura came into his life, he kind of realised what he'd been missing out on. He kind of regretted isolating himself because he was desperate for her to stay, because he'd fallen in love with her and stuff. So again, that was him isolating himself was an intentional mistake. So I like how, he keeps making intentional mistakes, if that makes sense. It was just something I noticed, and I thought that was really clever. I don't think there's as much to say about the episode, because it was very much one linear story, just filling in those gaps with like getting the guns and everything. But we learned a lot more about John, I feel. The kind of romance was done very, very well. I really bought into it. It was successful. It was a great character study, some really good like underlying themes, and I really liked Morgan's kind of attitude towards things at the end. That was a really good episode. Everything I hoped it would be when I saw the title was Laura. I really liked having those gaps filled in, and I'm really hoping that she is still alive and she made it out of the stadium somehow, whatever the hell went down there, so they can see each other again. Because I love a good happy ending, so fingers crossed. But even if not, this was kind of a really beautiful kind of love story, and I loved this episode. I thought it was really, really excellently done. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Because it seems Morgan and John are very much against Alicia's plan, and Strand and Luciana's plan to kind of go after the vultures and kill them all. So is that going to cause some friction? Are they just going to go their separate ways, and we're going to follow like two different groups again, and they're going to stick together? I kind of hope they're going to stick together. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing when the story's going to go with that. But this was a great episode. I loved it. Really surprisingly emotional at points. I think it's very well written, and the performances were great. Definitely made me like Naomi as a character a lot more. I mean, she was a bitch to John at the start of the episode, but that's kind of the arc she needed to go through in that episode. And we see she has a tendency to just cut and run, if you will. Just piss off and go somewhere else. So that's kind of why I hope we see her again, because I kind of want to explore why that is, why she doesn't just stay, and why she always feels this need to just go. Interesting. Yeah, great episode. Loved it. Loved having these gaps filled in. Loved that last little section. Yeah. I'm very excited to see where they're going to go with the rest of this season. Thanks for watching.